Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Who You're Up Against. And we're going to be talking to Craig Tullier, and he's going to be pulling Brandon Elsesser coming up in the next few weeks. So I can't wait to get him on, and we'll fire off with some questions. Mr. Craig. Hey, Mr. Craig.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you good. Do you hear me?
Yeah,
All right, sweet. How was your day so far?
it was good, man. Today, I just finished an outage, so I had this week working 4 days, and then I go back to working a shit ton of hours next week. So today I had off, but I cut my mama's yard and cut my yard and my neighbor's yard. So I just got finished.
It sounds like to me you don't ever have all.
No, I don't.
Oh,
How about you?
I actually started a new job today for the first time, but luckily we only work half a day on Fridays.
Oh, okay, that's good,
Wow.
man.
Yeah,
Good.
and we manufacture commercial doors. So they're metal doors. We'll cut and put glass in them, and we weld the frame seamless if that's how the contractors want it and stuff like that.
Cool,
So yeah,
cool.
yep. And I liked it, so I did a little welding, drove a forklift a little bit, and basically just built some orders. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But if you don't mind, I'll just fire right off with some questions.
Yep.
All right. If you, I kind of like to start out with just what's your name, where you're from, and what weight class you compete at.
My name is Craig Tullier. I'm from Denham Springs, Louisiana, and I compete at 198, 195 to 198 pound weight class.
Uh, well, sweet. And so, how many years experience do you have?
I've been pulling for 35 years.
35. Dang, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Would it hurt your feelings to learn I'm 35 years old?
No, because most of the people I pull nowadays are 20 or that age.
And it doesn't help him any, does it?
Sometimes, I mean, but not really.
Not very often. Anyways, if you don't mind, could you think back a little bit about what your first experience on a real professional arm wrestling table was like?
Yeah. So when I very first started, I was 16 and I was into powerlifting and I was really
Huh?
strong for my body weight, but I didn't know nothing about arm. So I'd arm wrestle on actual like desktops at school.
Okay. Hmm.
And so when me and my cousin seen this place on a Friday night when we was driving by, it was a little pool hall that teenagers would go to, and it said arm wrestling tournament on a Friday night. So
Hmm.
I went to it, and I didn't know nothing about tables and pads or none of that, and so I weighed in and.
Well, breaking up a little bit. Come on,
The weight class. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it broke up a second. The last thing I heard was I weighed in.
Yeah. So I weighed in, and the weight
Uh,
class I competed in that day was the 143-pound class,
wow.
and so I winded up winning it. And the guy that held the tournament trained people. So he asked me, "Hey man, could I train you?" And I was like, "Well, I was into powerlifting and stuff." I was like, I think I'm gonna wait and I'll see what happens. Well, he had another tournament 1 month later, and I did the same thing. And I decided, you know what, I think I might want to try this. So, so I started training.
Uh, that's pretty cool. And so you end up getting up with the guy in training, and so you just started doing well, kind of right out the gate, huh?
Yeah, I trained for 4 months at 16. I went to the national championships. I got fourth in the nationals. Chad Silvers took first, Leslie Wims took second, and Jay Barry took third.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I was really really nervous because I mean I was 16
No,
and
I
these guys were.
believe it.
Yeah, I remember looking at Chad and Leslie and I'm like, holy smokes, I'll never be on that level.
Uh-huh.
And actually, a year and a half later, I beat Leslie, and And then, so to make a long story short, I went to the World Championships 4 months later and got third in the world.
Dang, that's incredible. And so, throughout your the years in the sport, is there anybody that kind of stands out as somebody who you would consider like a rival, or somebody who you might have, knew you had to be trained up to beat, or anything like that, or somebody you kind of went back and forth with?
Yeah. So it happened. So a long, long time ago, I was competing at the North Carolina State Championship that we used to
Uh-huh.
have in and I arm wrestled Todd Hutchins.
Oh, wow.
And well, then Todd Hutchins moved from South Carolina. He moved to Utah and started
Okay.
training John Brezink and Bob Brown. And I'm going to tell you, the next time I arm wrestled Todd was in
Uh-huh.
WAL,
Uh-huh.
and ended up coming down to me and Todd pretty much
Uh-huh.
in the a lot, And
Right.
I look up. Todd's an extremely strong arm wrestler, and
He is.
and I've gotten him to the pin pad a many a times. It's just you got to be on the top of your game to be able to pull him. So he's one of them that I feel I look up to, and he inspires me a lot. So he's one of them.
Absolutely. Hey, he's a great one. He actually the first interview I ever got.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah, he
cool.
was. It was actually a blessing. I was excited. He's probably one of my favorite arm wrestlers. So
Yeah, me too.
somewhere along the lines, he learned how to get strong. I know that. He don't have all the frame and the big hand and all that. If he had a few of those, like, gifted like physical features, then there wouldn't be no telling what he could do.
Oh, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it would be just unbelievable.
But and so, now that we've talked a little bit about your rivals, who would you say is one of your greatest assets, or somebody who you think maybe you wouldn't go as far as you went if it wasn't for this person or that person?
Well, so when I first got into it, I wound up having the blessing to
Uh-huh.
meet and get very close with Cobra Rhodes.
Okay.
Cobra actually moved here to Louisiana and actually worked with me, and we trained together for many years. And actually traveling to Europe and going to the World Championships and us training together, we kind of developed a certain style to pull the Europeans, and I think a lot of my success, getting me set up and the fundamentals, I give a lot of that to Cobra. You know, he's a phenomenal arm wrestler. I've been with Cobra and witnessed with my own eyes
Mhm.
him beat the entire Russian team from a 130-pound guy all the way up to Zawul, the Georgian giant. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know who he is, but at the time he was the Dennis of Russia.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've seen Cobra do some phenomenal things, and so he's helped me really, along the way a lot. And then just recently, I just got back from living in Utah, and I've had the pleasure of training with Bob and
Uh-huh.
John Inc. and a lot of the guys in the Utah. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people, if they don't know, Bob Brown is phenomenal with his training. He knows what he's doing. He's helped me a lot too.
Hmm. And he likes to gamble.
Yes, he.
And I can't blame him. It's because I think his heart's all in it. He can't help it.
That's right.
He
That's
just
right.
wants to be involved in any way he can, and
Right.
if you think you're better than whoever he's backing, he willing to put some money on
That's right. That's right.
it. So that's great. If you don't mind, you mind talking a little bit about maybe what your prep's been like? I know you got a match with Brandon Elsesser. You
Yep.
mind speaking on that a little bit about
Yeah.
maybe kind of what your focus? You don't have to give away anything, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I'm cool with it. Yeah. So my match is October 8th with Brandon Assessor.
Okay.
I'm really excited about the match. Brandon has through the years has really really excelled and has gotten very impressive. I've been very impressed with him, and he's a good guy,
Mhm.
too. I like Brandon. Um, so he's gotten quite bigger too, and
Yeah.
so the last time we pulled, we were both. Let's see, I was 3, and I think he was around close to 200, and it was a round robin when we pulled, and I pulled
Okay.
him and Bishop and Joel Huddick and Tony Katowski. I pulled a bunch of them all in one class. And so now it's kind of cool because, you know, Brandon has been dominating in the weight class above me,
Mm-hmm.
or kind of two classes. And so, you know, it's given me an interest to go against him again.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching him, and so he pulled this Roger Cunningham from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I saw that match happen and Roger beat him, I was like, wow, you know. So I wound up having the pleasure of getting to pull Roger at the Michael Todd
Uh-huh.
tournament about a month and a half ago, and I wound up being able to beat Roger, and I think it kind of struck more interest for Brandon because now I think he's realizing, hey, this might be a really good match coming up, you know.
Uh-huh.
So Brandon's style, he has a real high post, and I like pulling guys that have high post top rolls. Also, he's rounded. He goes in for shoulder presses.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder presses don't really go good with my style. I've never really had a person that's in my weight class, say, I'm not talking about like a cherry cat or red. I'm talking about like a 198 or 210-pound guy
Right.
try to shoulder press me. It's very, very hard to shoulder press me.
Right.
So, you know, I've been training for the high posting back pressure that Brandon's going to most probably use with me. So I've been working on that. I've trained my hand and my side pressure tremendously. So that's a big asset. You know, I feel like everybody needs a strong hand. So that's been my big asset.
Well, it sounds like to me that you know, I think the reason you don't get shoulder press a lot is because you got to have your shoulder in front of your hand to get a good press in, and you've got such a strong hit that the match oftentimes goes that way. It's
That's
not very
right.
often that it goes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, do this. Most of the time you go that way. In my opinion, majority of matches, even if you don't win, they have to, you just have such a good hit, they may have to try to take you back. But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would say. I think if Brandon shoulder presses you, he'll have to go up outside first and try to
Try
win,
to transition.
try to get
Yeah.
you over there. I don't think he'll be able to just do it. But
Right.
what do I know?
No, it's true. It's very true.
But yeah, that's just cool. If you don't mind, do you mind sharing maybe your opinion or your stance or any experience you've had with any testosterone or steroids or anything like that, or PEDs or?
I'm not a person that's against people using them.
Okay.
Do I think that they give an advantage um, if they're used properly? Yes, I do. Um, some people it makes a major advantage in, and some people it doesn't. Um, my stance on it is I've always tried to, you know, train the right way, train hard, eat really well, eat clean. You know, I stay variably lean. I'm very, very hard to gain weight.
Mhm.
What I have done a lot of, and I've done a lot of research on, is stem cells.
Okay.
I've recently been having you know, not recently, but the past, I'm going to say 5 to 6 years, I got injured really bad. So the whole last year and a half of WAL, I was competing with a torn bicep and a torn rotator cuff. So I was finishing that off. I wanted up getting a lot of stem cell work done, and I'm a true believer in that.
Okay.
Um, I think that people that do have low testosterone, I think it's a plus to definitely get on it and take it.
Mhm. Yeah,
I do.
absolutely.
Um, but you know, I'm not against it. I mean, I have guys that I train with and have trained with that take it,
Mhm.
and I've felt firsthand the difference it does make. You know, it does make a difference. You know,
You're like, what do you mean you pulled 3 times this week? Yeah, man, I'm just not sore.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. They're like a machine.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell me, do you mind talking a little bit about any goals? Maybe you remember like whenever you first started, any goals that you might have had versus kind of how your, I guess, goal setting has it evolved any over your career?
Yeah. So like my goals when I first started, like I was talking earlier, my first goal was to
Uh-huh.
pull with Leslie Wims and to be able to stop him and tie him up, you know. And
Uh-huh.
so we had a decently war a year after I pulled him or first met him. So after I had that war with him,
Mhm.
I winded up pulling him 3.5, 4 months later at the national sit down championship. And I winded up beating him.
Wow.
And, Leslie's like a brother to me. And I hated that we had to do it that way. But that's what happens,
Uh-huh.
once I beat him, my next big goal was Chad Silvers, because those guys were kind of like the 1 and 2 top guys. Chad's won 5 world titles and Leslie has 2. And so I was like, that was my next goal. And then I beat Chad, so then, I just kind of like started setting my goals to, went to the world championships. I've gotten all the way to, silver medalist at many, many world championships. I love pulling the European guys.
Mhm.
So then now as it's transitioned and WAL come out, and it kind of changed up a lot for all of us. And then
Right.
I kind of had my goal set on to being the best 195 pounder, and then me and Todd were butting heads so much. And then now they kind of moved the weight classes, a little bit. So I was always forced to have to pull heavier guys. And that was kind of
Uh-huh.
unfortunate for me, because a lot of people think I'm a 210-pound guy and stuff like that. And I'm really a 190-pound guy dressed,
Yeah.
So, but I like to pull the heavier guys. It's just not, sometimes I'm not going to say it's not fun for me, but I do like to pull the bigger guys than to go pull a 185-pound guy, So,
Yeah.
so now my goals now has transitioned to, I'm looking for an opportunity to try to go to the East versus West.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, you
Yeah,
should.
yeah, I really want that, and I might have a chance coming up, and I'm really
Okay.
excited about that. So I would love to get a shot at it.
I think you definitely have to be, especially you perform good at the Monster Factory. And do you still have a match with oh my gosh. Dan Mosier. You still have a match
Yeah,
with Dan? Okay.
yes,
The
we
date
we
on
have,
that is?
yeah, we winded up arm wrestling at our state championship in
Oh
May,
shit.
and he was
Oh,
242
you
last, and
barely squeaked one. You barely got him, didn't you?
yeah, and
Okay.
he was real heavy that day. Dan had quite a bit of weight on me. Um, I winded up beating him there, and then now we're going to pull at 200 pounds
Oh,
at
okay.
the Monster Factory. So, which I'm stronger now than I was then. I was just getting back, coming from out of working out of town. I got back, and I'm even healthier. I can honestly say that I'm healthy again, and that's made a difference for me, a lot of difference.
So you think just between being so busy on the road and maybe just not having quite the time to eat quite as good as you should, do you think that's a little bit has something to do with it maybe?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm real big believer in training properly and
Uh-huh.
eating. And once I've gotten healthy from my injuries, and then eating healthier and getting my training back to normal,
Uh-huh.
it's made a big difference for me. We practice every Sunday here at
Okay.
where I live, and we pull for 3 to 4 hours straight. And we've got people comes. BJ Fakakis comes. We got guys out of Florida come. I mean, we've
Okay.
got Texas. I mean, we have 50 plus pullers at practice.
Wow. Where are you located now?
We're located in Denham Springs, Louisiana.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. Well,
Yeah.
I guess one of the last questions I'll ask you is, do you mind talking a little bit about, I guess, your wife? And because I just kind of get the feeling that she's really supportive and that you and her have your own fitness stuff that you do together. And do you mind talking a little bit about how blessed, how what a blessing it is to have somebody like that in your corner?
Oh, absolutely. My wife Denise has been a total blessing to me, and I
Uh,
wouldn't even be where I am right now if it wasn't for
uh,
her. She supports me totally, and when I'm struggling through times, she
mhm,
lifts me up, and then when she's struggling through times, I lift her up. We train at the gym every day together.
uh-huh.
She's kind of taking it a little step further. She's raising the bar a little higher than I am right now. She's waking up at 4 in the morning, and she's going and she rides a bike for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, she's going places, ain't she? Hey, Craig. Sorry
Hey, man.
about that.
That's okay. I'm sorry.
No, it was fine. You're in the middle of bragging about your wife, and it's no big deal. You were talking about how she gets up 4 o'clock and she rides her bike to the gym, and sounds like she's going places.
Yeah. Yeah, she's doing better than I am. I'm very impressed.
So that's great. What, if you don't mind, what does she do for a living?
She's a head of HR for the company that I work for. She used to work with my company, and I built refineries for a living. And she actually left and went to work for our biggest competitor,
Uh-huh.
and and now she's a head of HR for them.
And now she's kicking your butt in the gym. What is going
Yeah, that's right.
on? That's funny.
Yeah,
I guess you just have to switch things up sometimes, you know. You'd be married for a while and be each other's teammate, and then you guys can compete
yeah,
a little bit.
that's right. That's right.
That's funny. But
Yeah.
hey, if you want to, I guess one of my last questions we'll finish up here would just be, do you have you noticed any kind of change or difference in arm wrestling in over the past 5 or 6 years, or maybe even 10 years, as far as how popular it is, or just the number of people at events more consistently, or social media, or just anything?
Yeah, Derek, I'm gonna tell you, man. The past, I'm gonna say 5 to 10 years, I've seen a big, influx of people getting more interested into it and coming. A lot of the social media has broadened it so much. I mean, people like I was in the gym by where I work at. I work 2 hours from here, so sometimes while I'm at work there, and I'll work out. And this guy that some guys were in there, just I overheard them talking about arm wrestling. So of course I'm like, whoa, wait, you arm wrestle? And then he
That's strange, but I guess it makes sense when they're older. Oh shit. All right. Maybe third time's the charm. Yeah, I'm guessing it's my Wi-Fi, but anyways, I do appreciate, having a chance to sit down and talk to you, but definitely been watching you for a while. Watched all the old WAL videos and all that stuff. And were you in Arm Wars?
yes, I actually I've been to two or more, so it's awesome to compete there. I loved it.
100%. Yeah. Well, I guess I just wanted to thank you for coming on. That way, if we get cut off again, it was definitely a pleasure. And then I'm just going to ask you one more question. If you look back into your career, is there a match that kind of stands out as kind of like maybe at the end, regardless of who won, you were like, yeah, that was a banger, or something, or you're like, yeah, we went to war. Is there, anything like that that stands out?
Yeah, I would say the match with
Okay.
me and Rob Vengeance match. I would love to redo that.
Yeah, so I guess I can take it that you feel like you were this close.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, that's great. But like I said, hey, I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. It was so nice of you to just come on kind of whenever you had a chance. And
Yeah,
hey, yeah, absolutely. And I'll be looking forward to seeing what's up next for you.
thank you, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate
You mind hitting me with a flex one time and we'll get out of here? Yeah.
it.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. You have a good night.